With your
And you look at the camera, look at you.
look at camera. Yeah. Hi everyone, we're back live here in the Guidewell Insights Lounge. This is Kate Warnock coming to you from on location at the AHIP Institute and Expo. Delighted to have our last guest of the day, Mr. Ferris Taylor. Ferris, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's great to be at AHIP.
We're happy to have you. So Ferris, you have two titles. You're both the chairman of the board of the Healthcare Executive Group, and you're also the CEO of Arches Health Plan. So you were just telling me before we went on camera that you just sat in and heard Dr. Eric Topol speaking. Tell me, give me, if you can, recap some of your top points.
I'd be glad to, and I'm a technology and data geek. My undergraduate, and Eric is just phenomenal, and it's been a couple of years since I've heard him speak. A couple of things that just really struck me is how accessible technology is becoming. Years ago, I saw him do an ultrasound with his smartphone, but now he did his full body ultrasound, and then he compared it to his MRI. And the power of technology plus the innovation that comes from the marketplace opens up a whole realm of opportunities. What struck me the most in what he said, and it's something that's bothered me for years, is why is healthcare so slow in adopting technology? And we've all seen it. When I went into business school, it was the first time that a hand calculator was required. So I date myself, and this was long before Hewlett-Packard. But it was $400. And today at the exhibit hall, they're giving them away. At the same time, there was a pacemaker in 1973, and it was a few $1,000s. Today it's 20 some odd $1,000. And it seems like in most industries, over time, due to the technology, the quality goes up and the cost goes down. And in healthcare, it seems the quality may go up some, but the cost definitely goes up. So we had a lot of comments about how the technology now that is available, a smartphone, everybody's got a smartphone. If that can be used, then that dramatically changes the cost curve. Another comment, go ahead.
I was going to say, and it democratizes health too. I mean, it really puts you kind of in control of your own health. I mean, I have to admit, I followed Dr. Topol on Twitter, and I don't know if anyone got to see, he actually tweeted his own kidney stone.
He showed that. It was phenomenal.
Tweeted it, and then he tweeted the after effects, and God love him, he had 3, but all right there with the technology in his pocket.
Just in his pocket. So the technology part is so accessible. Now we need the innovation and the quality to come along. Naturally, the smartphone ultrasound of his kidney stone could identify the kidney stone. It's not everything that an MRI might be, but it's very, very doable. The 2 points that he made on adoption that struck me is, first of all, our industry has been very slow, very cautious. Back to my example of the hand calculator. In comparison to what's happened with a pacemaker, now I understand a hand calculator won't kill you. That's not what hand calculators will do, and a pacemaker has a different standard. But where the hand calculator has gone from $400 to 13 cents, and it's the size of a business card with a solar panel on it, the pacemaker has gone to tens of thousands of dollars. And why is it that we are ultra cautious with the technology and we leave the consumer out of the picture? So how do we as a society, Governor Levitt spoke right after Eric Topol and talked about the clash between the economics and our social and moral obligation to the citizens of the world, actually. And we have to be able to afford it. So are those incremental improvements in quality worth that expense? Part of it is just the medical society. We've got to have double-blind tests
Yeah.
and all of the regulations that come into that. And at some point, we're going to have to break through that. The third point that I thought was just very revealing is we do not calculate in this high cost of healthcare, $3.4 trillion industry that we're involved with. We don't calculate the cost of the consumer, the cost to the consumer. Telemedicine is a good example where, and Dr. Topol and I both agree that the RAND study was in terms of research that said, well, telemedicine really increases the cost. It was poor research, there were some flaws in the research, but what wasn't in that cost was a mother with 3 children that has one that gets sick and has to get Susie to the piano lessons and Johnny to the baseball game, and life comes to an end to get to the doctor's office versus a phone call.
Right.
What's the cost to the patient, to the member of healthcare? So those are my quick takeaways, but I love Eric Topol. I love technology.
Yeah.
And I do think that we're on the cusp of having the technology that it takes to really change this complicated industry that we're involved in.
Outstanding. Well, I'm going to jump to another topic that's related. Maybe just give me your quick sense, Ferris, around cybersecurity. We talk about cybersecurity, the protection of patient data, how critical that is. Tell us, what do you see in the future?
And I again, the innovation is going to come from the flow of data, and we really want to emphasize the big data, and as was said in the opening session, the big analytics that have to go with that data.
Sure.
But as you move healthcare data around, it's a little bit different than other industries. And I've made the comment many times that in terms of cybersecurity, so many of us in healthcare have said we have the same security standards as the banking industry. And I challenge that in the sense that the banking industry doesn't really have a security policy. They have a remuneration policy. If money goes missing from your account, they put it back into your account, no harm, no foul, nothing's been lost. In healthcare, lots can be lost if our medical information gets lost.
Right.
And I think the future there is again in technology. The internet wasn't created for us to be able to have secure conversations. It's an open system.
Right.
But the technology is there that we can now have point-to-point communication systems. So if I want to invite my neighbors to a barbecue, I send an email out.
Right.
But if I want to transact something with Kate, financially or medically, I send your medical information. I want that to be just you and me, secure from both ends of the system. So to be able to do, the technology is there now to be able to have a private internet. And private email tries to do that, but it doesn't really work because the endpoints are not secure. First time you get a message from a secure email system, you go on, you register, put in your user code and password, and you've got a secure message. The next time you get a message and it says click here and put in your password, you click there and put in your password, and somebody sitting in Romania now has your password.
Right.
And it must have been important because you sent it in secure email. We've got to move beyond that to secure communications in healthcare.
Yeah, well, Ferris, I mean, I think the themes that you touched on, technology, the fact that it's becoming, practically frictionless, but still too expensive, and the fact that our data, to be meaningful, has to be both secure yet still shareable. Big themes that are here at AHIP, and I think there's going to be a lot more conversation over the next couple days. So I'm so glad that you teed that up for us today and joined us here.
And thanks to Guy Well for doing this.
Oh, our pleasure.
We love what you're doing to perpetuate the thought leadership in the industry.
We're so grateful that you joined us as one of those thought leaders, and look forward to streaming more interviews live for our audience over the next couple days with more people like Ferris Taylor. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kate Warnock. We're going to be up with more interviews tomorrow. Please tune in.